writers and readers, I'm Christy Stratus, and today I wanted to talk to you about Robert Jordan's Eye of the World, #1 in the Wheel of Time series. We're reading this right now in the Goodreads group Best Fantasy Books Subgenre Reading Challenge. We're trying to read 65 books in a year of the 65 subgenres, and there are more and more all the time, so actually there are more than 65 now. But we're just going to talk about this today. I wanted to just share something with you guys about this book. I tried reading it once before and it did not work out for me, and the reason was I had the wrong expectations. And I hadn't read a whole lot of fantasy, and the fantasy I had read was extremely different. So I don't think I'd ever read epic fantasy before, and this is like the epic fantasy that you would ever read. So it's definitely classic, and when I first started reading it, the prologue was full of action, it was fast moving, fast paced, and then once I got into the main story, there was action and stuff, but I found myself waiting for more to happen faster. I didn't realize that the pacing is so extremely important in epic fantasy. And once I sort of found that out by reading other epic fantasy types of books, or even just reading a little bit of the beginning and realizing just how important pacing is, I kind of got the subgenre. I understood what was being achieved. This is a book and a series that you get into for the long haul, so we're really focusing on developing characters, developing the situation, developing the scale of the conflict, and a lot of other things, developing even the language. There are certain terms used for magic performed and things along those lines, different creatures, so there's a lot of development going on right now. And I noticed that in other epic fantasy books, even though I haven't read that many, I've really just read Josh DeLioncourt's Haven Lost. So that one, I really noticed that the pacing was super important and it really fit very well. And I sort of understood it better after that. So now that I'm reading this, I'm trying to read it again for a second time. I didn't get that far in it the first time. This second time, I'm really hoping that now that I understand it better, I can definitely move along and appreciate the writing a lot better. So I don't know if you've experienced the same type of thing in any genre, epic fantasy, fantasy, a different subgenre of fantasy, or just a totally different genre where your expectations were so wrong that you couldn't enjoy the book. And that's when I stop a book and I say, okay, what am I supposed to be expecting here? And I need to change my expectations, or the book just isn't for me. So in this case, I just needed to realize what I should be expecting as opposed to what I was expecting. So let me know if you've ever had a similar experience. I think it's really interesting and it's a really great learning process, especially about this particular subgenre. So like this video, subscribe below. If you're on Goodreads, just leave a comment and let me know if you've ever experienced this before, and I look forward to hearing from you.